be going ahead and the recording feature so that everyone can get that recording. Additionally, we wanted to let our anyone participating in today's webinar know that there's a couple different features that you may want to know about. So one, the first is that you can see at the bottom there is a live transcript feature that will give you the opportunity to make sure that if you do need to use the live transcripts, that you can access those. Additionally, you will also see a Q&A function. So if you have questions throughout our time today, you are more than welcome to keep those questions in that space. You can also share it to the chat. We will check both places. At the end, we will be doing a dedicated Q&A section. And so if you would like, you can certainly raise your hand and we will get started. So we are going to give everyone about another minute or so, and then we're going to jump into our webinar about text-to-speech at Trinity. Thanks, everyone. Again, thank you to those that are joining us today. If you're viewing this recording afterwards, we are really excited to be launching this tool here at Trinity. We want to start off with a little explanation of what you will sort of explore today. So you will get a chance to see sort of a couple different tools in action when it comes to OrbitNote and our text-to-speech provider, Read and Write. Both are provided by a company, Text Help, that we contract through. And a little history behind both of those. So one, over time, our office has specifically supported individual students in using these tools for a couple of years now. And part of our endeavor with student accessibility services is to promote universal accessibility and universal design across the institution. And one of those tools is really opening up, or one of those endeavors is opening up use of different accessibility tools across the institution and not just requiring getting registered with our office to be able to use something of that nature. So we are excited about the opportunity to show you all some of these tools today. What I wanted to start off in general was explaining text-to-speech a little bit. So one of the really important things that we know about text-to-speech is that it does provide a level of accessibility. We know that students, faculty, staff, a variety of different individuals take in content and process information in so many different ways. And one of the fantastic things about this text-to-speech tool is that it helps individuals process information in a way that is supportive to them and their needs. And it does not sort of require additional effort on behalf of that individual. So everyone can be in class, they can read that email, they can teach and explore different content that we have here at Trinity in a way that is most supportive and most connected to how they engage with information. And it doesn't just mean on a disability related level, but the idea of universal accessibility and design is including sort of everyone else and really giving those individuals an opportunity regardless of whether or not they do have a disability or not. And so we're really excited to debut this tool and show everyone the benefit of these particular tools that everyone now has access to here at Trinity. So to start off, I wanted to show some of the major features of probably the most helpful tool that faculty and staff will explore. And so this first tool that individuals have access to is called OrbitNote. And individuals can access this tool at the website that I have just posted in the chat. OrbitNote simply gives us the opportunity to use a PDF accessibility and text-to-speech tool together. So I want to share with everyone what this looks like. So as you can see here, we have our OrbitNote sort of dashboard, and I am signed in already, but I will sign out so that folks can see when you go to that orbit.texthelp.com website. This is the particular site that shows up, and you will want to sign in with Google. So I'm already signed in. It already recognizes me, but you would see your typical kind of Trinity Google sign-in process. Now, one of the great things is when you first sign in, it will ask you if you want to connect your Google account to OrbitNote. So you have a couple different options when it comes to using this PDF tool. So you can certainly take PDFs from your computer, from a something that you have downloaded onto your computer, or you can drag and drop them. You can also click on this to pull up a file. Additionally, you can also just simply open up a PDF from your Google Drive. So there's a list of PDFs here, and I can pull in any one of those PDFs into this tool. Additionally, on this page, there's a variety of different supports, video playlists. So if you ever are curious about how to use OrbitNote and I can't remember from today's webinar, you can get access to that. Also, if you forget this website, you have an easy way to install an extension through Chrome that gets you directly to this page. So additionally, I believe this extension is also available if you use Microsoft Edge. This is a really helpful tool, and I particularly rely on the extension all the time to just help me. It's super easy to click this. It takes you right to the page, as I'll show you here, and it pulls up OrbitNote again. So let's see here. So I want to show you what sort of tools are available through OrbitNote. And again, this is the major tool that we are promoting as a part of the overall text-to-speech options here at Trinity. So, and you will see in a moment that Let's Scan feature. But so this is a book that we had to copy for a student for a class to be able to access this tool. Now, there's a couple different features in this tool that I think are just generally helpful for individuals. There is a push pin feature where you can make notes about a particular tool, or not a tool, a particular section of the PDF. And in this tool, it does give you the option
Note 1 and 2
to read that note out loud. It will also let you make a voice note. It'll also let you dictate anything there. It also lets you adjust any of the particular the size of the content that you put in there, and sort of lets you adjust notes as you move throughout the PDF. Additionally, similar to some other PDF tools, it does let you add text to the tool. You can also freehand draw on the PDF. You can make adjustments, add a shape. You can also, one of my favorite things about this is that you can highlight on the PDF. Sorry. Oh, it's not going to let me do it just yet. So we'll come back to that. So there's a couple other tools here that I do want to show. One of the most important tools that comes with OrbitNote, and one of the reasons that we really wanted to explore this is we know faculty are scanning lots of different books, throwing different PDFs onto T-Learn and a couple different spaces for students to access. And one thing we really want to communicate is that PDF accessibility is really, really important. And if faculty or staff are just scanning textbooks or scanning books for use in a class, in many cases, those PDFs are not accessible because it reads the text as a picture and does not recognize the individual words, letters, things of that nature that are on that PDF. One of the amazing things about OrbitNote is that it does actually come with what we call an OCR tool, which is an optical character recognition tool. What it does is it takes a PDF that's inaccessible like this, and it will let you scan the document. So you can see here, it's scanning the document. It's actually going to take, it says it's going to take about 11 minutes. So it does take some time, but it will actually let you scan that tool. So, so you can see it's going to take a bit of time here, but I'm going to open up another PDF so I can show you some of the other tools here. So that's simply the scanning feature. It is going to take a little bit of time, so I don't want us to wait around for that document to scan. What I want to do is I want to open another document that will kind of help us explore this a little further. So this document I'm opening here, this document is actually fully accessible. So it does have the optical character recognition. It is recognizing some of the different words, letters, things of that nature in the tool. So once you open that PDF that is fully accessible, it's scanned, all of that, there are some different tools that you now have access to. So one of those that I was mentioning earlier was the highlight feature. So it allows you to highlight the different words on there. You can actually highlight it itself and it'll highlight it. Additionally, this tool also gives you a collaboration tool. So you can collaborate with different individuals. So you can type a comment, you can share this with someone, you can give access to this tool, and it is going to, so if individuals are working on a document and this is a preferred place to work on, particularly with a PDF, this tool does give you access to this. So it is one of the few benefits that come with this tool. Additionally, one of the other features that I really like about this is that there is a translation tool. So it does give you the option to translate. It depends on sort of the language and what you're looking at and whatnot, but there is some minimal translating features there. The two major features that I often will highlight with students in particular are directly related to playing back, like getting the actual text to speech. and also making sure that, and also our the screen blocking tool in this in OrbitNote. So the first one, of course, is your standard text-to-speech. And it honestly is just as simple as hitting this play button.
1 of 122. Creating inclusivity while providing accommodations. A practical guide to champion individuals with disabilities on campus.
So you can see that it was actually playing through, or that the audio was playing, or not audio, but it was reading back the text to that individual that might have been reading through this. One of the great features, and we'll have to remember where it is at, is there is a way to adjust, oh, here it is. There is a way to adjust the type or the voice that you're specifically hearing. So there's different voices, so that if you need a kind of different type of voice, or you have a preference on what type of voice, you can also change the speed. Here's where you change kind of or choose the translation. And you can also change a bunch of other settings in here. So that is under that settings tool. But I wanted to show you that simply because you can change the voice if you need a different type of voice and whatnot. And that's a really important tool. So the other kind of tool that I think can be really, really helpful for individuals is called screen masking. And so with screen masking, this blocks out pretty much everything else on the page except for what you are hovering over. And so there's some different ways you can adjust this. You can kind of change it so maybe you see a little bit of the background or none of it. You can convert you can kind of change it so that the screen masking, you actually are blocking out what you're hovering over instead of seeing what you're hovering over. And you can even change the line height. So you can see on the left and right here as I'm changing it, it gets bigger and wider and whatnot. So basically, you can also change the background color. So if you like a different color of some kind, or you want to change the masking color, what shows up in the area that you're highlighting over, you can also change those on the screen. So this can be a really particular tool if you find that you struggle with focus. Maybe you often kind of find yourself losing track or coming back to something that you're reading on a consistent basis. This is something that can really, really help with that. So I wanted to highlight that as just one of the many different features. In general, you can also pull a list of vocabulary and use that as a tool. You can also create a picture dictionary or a regular dictionary, keeping in mind that this tool is used for both K through 12 and higher ed. And so there's kind of similar applicability for some of those and then others that aren't so much. So also, if you don't want to play the whole tool or play the whole document or keep kind of going back and forth, you can use this click to play click to play feature up in the corner, or click to speak, sorry. And what that will do is it will let you click on a particular
Chapter
place.
2 addresses the importance of including disability in all work within higher education institute.
So it gives you a good kind of way to localize where you want to start with that text to speech. So again, this is available to every single person, and all you have to do is simply log in with your Trinity Google login at that orbit.texthelp.com webpage. So I wanted to now jump over to a similar tool that is sponsored by our office, and that is our read and write tool. And so this is a similar tool. You'll actually see a lot of similar features that maybe you saw in OrbitNote, but this tool is specifically meant more so for Office-related documents or Google Drive related documents. So you can use this tool in Google Docs. You can use it in certain parts of the web. You can use this on Google Slides. And if you use Microsoft Office Online, you can also use this there. One of the easiest ways to get this tool is to download the Read and Write for Google Chrome extension. And this is available in the Google Chrome web store. You can download it, and again, it'll ask you to log in. Excuse me, it'll ask you to log in with your Trinity Google login credentials. So you can get it there. Additionally, our office has some information on how you can download Read and Write for both Mac, Windows computers. There's an iPad app that serves as a keyboard on the iPad that you can use this with as well. So there's an app that you can use on the iPad as well. So we can provide more information about that. But the easiest way to get this is by going through the Google Chrome store, which I will put here in the chat. So once you download that and you sign in, the really important thing is that this tool will pop up. And so this tool, whenever you click on it, if you're on a compatible website, email, a Google Doc, anything of that kind, and you click that extension, this tool will pop up. So see, it goes away and it comes back. So, and one of the great things is that this tool offers a lot of similar features to what we just went through with the OrbitNote tool. So you can see that it has your standard text-to-speech options, so you can play it.
Accommodation letters. Students have started requesting their accommodation letters, aka faculty notification letters.
So you can see that it was playing through that section. And with this tool, really what you start off with is just placing your cursor next to the space that you want the tool to start reading. Additionally, you'll also notice it has the screen masking feature and similar settings as well for that. And so you can change the background, you can change the reading light opacity, the height of that reading line. All of that is still present. You will also see that the highlighting feature is still available. So you can hover or cover something and then highlight it. You can also pull it up. One of my favorite features of both the OrbitNote and this tool is that as a student or as you are sort of going through and highlighting things, you do have the option to collect all of those highlights. And so what that does is that it'll create a brand new document in your Google Docs that will show you all of the highlights that you made. So this is one of the really great features, and I think it's really helpful as you're going through a document and you're highlighting. Sometimes we want to pull out all of those things, and Read and Write will actually do that for you. And that is this Collect Highlights tool. Additionally, it has the vocabulary tool. You can make a voice note on a document. Sometimes that's really helpful, particularly we work often with students that struggle with maybe taking what they are thinking and actually putting it into writing. And sometimes it really helps to just speak it out instead of writing it. And once it's spoken out loud, they can kind of organize it and really get it to a better place then. Also, additionally, there's a screenshot reader. So if you are maybe on a website and you are trying to capture text-to-speech and it's not reading it out loud, you can actually screenshot that website. Now we'll try and show this to you. Oh, there we go. So you can see that, for instance, if I'm on
mission and purpose,
so you can cover
student
that.
accessibility service.
You can also screenshot a whole section and it should play it.
Providing equal access and opportunity, mission and purpose. Student Accessibility Services supports Trinity University's mission to promote human and intellectual diversity, providing equal access.
So you can see actually when you screenshot something to read it back to you, the tools for playing it and stopping it are here on the bottom right. So you can also copy all of that information and maybe copy it over to another document of some kind. So this is just another really helpful tool again that can help with website accessibility and making sure that people can access everything on those websites. So additionally, there are a couple other tools, a spelling checker, things of that nature that sort of come standard with most Word and Google Doc options, but again, it's all available in one toolbar. So that is in general what we offer in terms of read and write and OrbitNote, the text-to-speech tools. Again, these are really important tools we want the university to start using. We would love for faculty and staff to start using these, especially as you are scanning PDFs and using those. We really want you to be able to use that feature that scans those documents to make them much more accessible. It's such a really helpful tool, and it's super easy for everyone to use these tools to actually make sure that the materials we're using in classes and that we're using in our offices are fully accessible. As always, if you run into any concerns, SAS is always here to help you with this tool and making sure that you can really access everything that you need to with this tool. So it is a sort of important thing that we want to make sure individuals know about. So the other final piece to this that I did not get to share with the OrbitNote is that if you right-click on the extension, there's an options feature, and the options feature does give you the option to open any PDF in your, when you open a PDF in your browser, it does give you the option to open it directly with OrbitNote versus the standard Google Chrome, PDF reader and whatnot. So yes, Angela, I am suggesting that you do that. Again, the whole point here is that when you do share a PDF, it's really important to make sure that it is accessible. And I will say that scan feature, it is pretty accurate. The really important thing is that sometimes the PDFs that it will scan, sometimes it doesn't scan it fully, or there might be some other challenges with that. But the important thing is that if someone does report that to you, you can work directly with us and we'll contract with someone to actually remediate the tool. But in my experience, that scan text feature that I shared with you all in OrbitNote is pretty accurate and pretty reliable in terms of getting those accessible PDFs. So I do suggest that you all use this tool to make sure that any PDF that you are sharing is fully accessible. And again, if you put the PDF in there, and it can be read out loud, then that means that the document is does have optical character recognition. Hopefully that helps, Angela. So with that being said, I would like to open up for any other questions that anyone has, or other things that you all may want to know about text-to-speech, those tools here at the university, or any other sort of tools that you may be curious about. And again, you can feel free to raise your hand if you want to ask the question, or you can feel free to put that question in the Q&A. Seeing we do not have any other questions, as always, please do not hesitate to reach out to us if you have our office, if you have any questions. That's our email. You can also call us at 210-999-8528. And and if you give us a call, we're happy to help with access to the tool. We can, make sure that if you want some hands-on experience with the tool, we are happy to support you all in that way. And don't forget that you will get a copy of this recording if you signed up. We'll also be posting it in a variety of different places for individuals to fully access. So, with that being said, thank you all so much for joining us, and we hope that you all enjoy using the Read and Write and OrbitNote PDF or PDF and text-to-speech tools. So, thanks everyone.